prayer, Bible study, and witnessing. The three things that transform my life would be that.
Whose covering do we have on? God's covering or our own covering?
If we beheld Christ on that cross every day, our religion would become a practical life experience.
GYC Northwest Conference this year has been a huge blessing. It was amazing to be able to participate and see the gospel really presented in a practical way, but also see connected with it our history and how God has attempted to continually bring this message to us. And another thing that really stood out to me was how the speakers' seminars really connected together and overlapped each other. And I think to be able to see clearly how Christ has given to us that infinite gift and how he makes that trade where he takes all that we have upon himself and gives to us everything that he has. And I would say overall the conference was just a huge blessing.
I'm so glad that our family could come to GYC. Personally, I've been really blessed by it. It's really nice to be with friends, and I also appreciate the message that they have presented. It has made me want to study the subject of the righteousness by faith out more and to look at the lives of our forefathers and see what we can learn from
Because you know I always read.
So GYC Northwest this year has been a huge blessing and inspiration to my life. The messages I have found to be very practical, looking at the history of our church and how God led and how he is still leading today. It's just really, there's a lot of lessons that we can take and apply to our own lives. And I know for me, it's been a huge eye-opener and blessing. The atmosphere here at GYC Northwest has been also very, very exciting to see young people who are on fire for God.
Grab a chair and join the circle.
Are you sure someone else can't?
Right here.
Happy Sabbath.
Like where? Right here at the bottom of the step. Right here on.
So my favorite part about GYC Northwest was the presentations and hearing about the history of 1888 righteousness by faith and learning from the presenters, but also learning from other people that came. Like, it was so cool. On my outreach, I ended up with a guy in my car that I had never met before, and I was driving, and he just started telling me his experience with it and how the Lord has abundantly blessed. And it was so great. Like, a part of the outreach was like happening in our car, just hearing how the Lord has worked in his life. So it was a blessing all the way around.
So to me, there are way too many blessings to describe about GYC Northwest, but by far the messages I feel are exactly what we needed to hear at this time, what I needed to hear, and it makes me realize just how much more I need to understand and experience righteousness by faith and recognize our past history where God has led us and his teachings, because these are the things that are going to prepare us to stand in these last days and give the message to the world. And above all, I just saw God working in so many miraculous ways throughout this conference that were just personal confirmations for me of him leading, and I just praise the Lord for all of that.
One of the biggest blessings that I personally experienced from this year's GYC Northwest conference was the theme and how it explored the message of righteousness by faith. I especially enjoyed how both of our main speakers, Pastor Kim Kerr and Ron Duffield, explored both the historical development of this doctrine through 1888, etc., as well as the practical ramifications and day-to-day how I experience the message of righteousness by faith in my own personal life.